Hey yo guys, it is me, SearingSorrow, and I'm back with another bad fanfiction reading. Today is going to be The Royal Shoes by Royal Horsey Time, the only chapter HD remake. Okay, author's note. It's finally here, with 5 times the amount of smut, for new and old readers alike. Please, not please. I meant, thank you for giving me the confidence to keep writing. Enjoy! Oh boy, get ready. Get your holy water ready. Here we go. And that concludes the end of day court. Celestia let out an exhausted sigh, rolling her head around to work out the stiff knit kinks in her neck. She groaned in painful bliss as her neck cracked and popped with each movement. She's in pain? Damn. She tuned out the guard during his announcement, having heard it a million times over. I sure to leave it in an orderly fashion. Celestia couldn't help but frown as she watched her ponies file out in the throne room, the upper class ponies still arguing amongst each other, while the more common ponies slowly shuffled out with a dejected look on their faces. She felt bad about not being helped all of her little ponies, even though most of their problems were trivial. She loves them with all of her heart, but sometimes it could be overbearing. Sis, are you feeling well? Celestia blinked back to reality and looked at the face of a concerned guard. Oh, I'm very sorry. Lieutenant, can you please repeat that? Celestia said with a small blush of embarrassment. Just preparing, that wasn't actually real. We pretended, okay? We pretend about this chiz. We gotta pretend, if that's even supposed to be. That was a terrible rap. I'm not a good rapper. What not? Okay. Lieutenant Vocal Boom, a brown-furred, serious stallion with the lust of screaming at others. Jesus Christ. Is he like the screaming at you version of Sir Topham Hatt? I feel like that's the case. Jeez. Son of a moly. It never mattered what Vocal Boom was yelling about. He could instill any kind of emotion into friend and foe alike. So yelling at someone, I feel like this would be every Fox News watcher, or every Fox News viewer. Yeah, this would be every Fox News viewer yelling at their screens. Yeah, I actually and before somebody gets at me, I've actually watched a documentary before in government class quite some bit ago, and yeah, I remember somebody was saying that their father at first was just like all kind in that, and then when they started watching Fox News, like they got angry and stuff. Like, ooh, it's not a pretty sight. Whether it's giving his soldiers the confidence needed to ensure victory in a hopeless battle or making another pony feel stupid for their choice of breakfast, so that he could say, diabetes. No, I can't believe I just said that. No, diabetes. Diabetes. Oh, God. I don't like. Why would you want to make people feel bad for what they have for breakfast? That just doesn't feel good. Jeez. Like, come on. Y'all are petty as hell. Like, come on. Y'all gotta do better than that. Luckily for Vocal, he's not dumb enough to yell at a princess. Of course, my princess. Every pony has left the throne room and Princess Luna's on her way. Vocal spoke in a completely calm and rational voice. Interesting. Interesting. Let's continue. Celestia's heart skipped a beat from hearing her sister's name, like a filly meeting her crush for the first time. Except it happens to her over and over again. Lieutenant, can you get me and my sister the room, please? Of course, my princess. The brown, golden-clad stallion gave a small bow and then turned to address the other guards. Court! His gruff voice rang out the privates. Open the doors and light up! The two guards closest to the door scrambled towards it. They each grabbed a large golden handle and slowly pulled the heavy doors open, causing the thick hinges to harshly creak. The rest of the guards began to shuffle towards the center of the room, lighting up with their shoulders raised high in the air, and they waited for their next order. Forward march! The lieutenant yelled. He silently watched the guards leave, mentally criticizing anything he saw wrong with them. Waiting until he saw the tail of the guard at the end of the line disappear around the corner, he would return his attention to Celestia. Will that be all, my princess? Yes, and before I forgot, you and your squad are dismissed for the day. His ears perked up. Thank you, my princess. He smiled as he gave her a quick bow and quickly spun on his heel. He hastily walked towards the exit of the throne room. Just as he passed the door frame, he stopped at his spot and bowed again. What's with the constant bowing? Ah! Wah! Mere seconds passed until Princess Luna came into Celestia's view. Luna completely ignored the lieutenant as she passed by him, curtly walking to the throne room. The lieutenant stood up and waved the last remaining guards to close the door behind the three of them as they left. The sound of thick heels clacked against the floor, echoing throughout the room, and Luna slowly approaches her sister's throne. Celestia held back a sigh as she got an idea of what her sister wanted. Judging by the terrified messenger Luna had sent to her, and the letter containing an excuses amount of colorful language, or does she mean language that you hear, or words that you hear that come out of George Carlin's mouth? No! I can't believe I just said that. No, that would be really funny. Trust me on that one. It could only be bad news. She already made some mental plans shortly after receiving the letter before morning court started. To cheer up her sister, she only hoped that Luna is not too angry for some fun. Luna stopped right in front of Celestia. Sister! Luna said, her voice dripping with stifled anger. Lulu! Celestia said as she smiled, trying to be as cheerful as possible. How are you? Luna angrily huffed as she grimaced. Horrible until I kill Blueblood. Celestia was not surprised by her sister's attitude. She, in fact, found a small amount of humor in it. It can't be that bad. Just give him one more chance. Oh, God. Luna rolled her eyes. He's a pompous douche who refused to take his responsibilities seriously and prefers to utilize his time and energy to flirt with the maids. And this is why cheating is bad. What's a cheater? Always a cheater. If you're a cheater, get out. You don't belong here. A giggle escaped Celestia's lips, to which Luna growled a response. And just what is so funny? You're quickly adapting to modern speech. Luna folded her arms, placed them under breast, and inadvertently making them more prominent. Do not try to change the subject. That little weasel is getting on my last nerves. Celestia's eyes flashed towards her sister's breast, momentarily admiring her large and soft mouth before looking back at her face. I know he's a handful, Luna. A handful? She interrupted. Sending his rude behind the gates of Tartarus will be handful. Luna stepped forward, closing the small gap between them. Luna leaned over to her sister, invading her personal space. This is not going to end well. All it takes is just one simple spell and poof! She threw her hands out at Celestia, waving her fingers in almost comical fashion. What the hell? All gone! No more troubles, Escatia is saved. Celestia grabbed Luna's hands, taking them into hers. She looked warmly into her sister's eyes. I take it that you are upset. Girl, that's an understatement. Well, you could not! Luna returned Celestia's gaze with an angry one of her own. Upset? I am more than upset. My anger has transcended beyond. Celestia pushed her body up, allowing her to get close to her sibling. Craning her head up, she planted her faded pink lips onto Luna's blue ones, tenderly kissing her sister. A simple kiss, yet it is enough to shut her up. A pair of lips from the most important pony to her was enough to bring her train of thought to a screeching halt. And that's what happens, y'all. She wanted to angrily vent some more about her problems. Complaining always made her feel better. This will pull away, slowly dissolved into a blush rapidly formed on her face. I can't worry about it later, she thought to herself while closing her eyes. She kissed Celestia back with equal passion, showing Celestia just how special she is to her. Uh-oh, this is gonna get interesting. As in, it's going to get wild. It's going to get wild. Celestia quietly hummed with approval. Now that Celestia had her sister engaged, she prodded Luna's mouth with her tongue. Luna gave a small giggle in response and slightly parted her lips, just enough to free her own tongue and push it back against Celestia's. The two princesses moaned in unison as their pink muscles intertwined, twisting and contorting over one another. A saliva mixture ran down both of their chins, their passionate kissing growing with intensity. They both fought for dominance, the duo trying to overtake each other. Is this incest? This is incest! Oh, no! Oh, God! Yo, I'm getting flashbacks from Empire Strikes Back. Remember when Luke and Leia kissed each other? Although, yes, I understand. They didn't know they were brother and sister yet. They didn't even know they were siblings, let alone twins. But still, that people will never forget that. Celestia pushed her head forward, trying to push herself upwards and metaphorically pin Luna under her. The countdown would begin as Luna desperately worked to pry herself free. The time ticked away as Celestia began to celebrate an early victory. Okay. Her cockiness was guaranteed to backfire as it gave Luna an opening. She slightly nibbled on Celestia's tongue, causing her to recoil back in surprise. Luna quickly gained her footing and resumed their earlier deadlock. See this go nowhere, Celestia relished the taste of Luna's mouth one last time before slowly breaking up the kiss. Luna moaned in displeasure. The stirring in her loins began her to continue. Celestia giggled, giving Luna's lips a quick lick. Berta? What? Who asked for it to be better? I asked for it to be good. And then you ask for this. Girl, you are a hot mess. Literally. You are a hot mess. The small smile on Luna's face was the only answer she needed. A small tug on Luna's hips prompted her to climb on top of Celestia. She tucked her legs in between the armrests and the outer of Celestia's legs, one each side, allowing her to rest comfortably on Celestia's lap. Celestia's hand slowly snaked up to Luna's thighs, the soft fur hidden under the fabric of the dress. She reached around and placed her hands on Luna's behind, cupping each plump cheek in her hands. She gently squeezed and kneaded the squishy rear, her fingers easily sinking into the flesh. That's gonna be a bloody mess. Luna leaned over, resting her hands on Celestia's shoulders. She arched her back and stuck her butt out and make it more prominent and allowing for easier access. She let out a throaty giggle. Cannot go any faster. Cannot go one day without groping me, dear sister. Slap. Ah! Luna's body lurched forward as she let out a lust-riddled yell. Her right butt cheek slightly throbbed in the shape of a handprint. What the hell? Yo, this is wild. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna front. This is actually really wild. Jesus. Oh, Luna slightly flinched from Celestia, placing her hand back on the now reddish spot. Her soft hand running in circles over the mark. The fudge is going on? I'm trying to comprehend this crap. Celestia turned to look at her sister. Did I say you could speak? Luna cocked her head towards Celestia, a large smile slowly growing on her face. One that Celestia matched as well. I do not need your permission, she declared in a haughty tone. Celestia raised her eyebrow. Oh, really? Such defiance. Luna gave her hips a little wiggle, her tail raising higher up on its own. I never liked rules. Must you make me bend you over like my knee? Celestia rhetorically asked. I'll be a good man if I get your lap instead. Without even waiting for a response, Luna pushed herself up and turned herself to lay perpendicular instead of parallel to her sister. She positioned herself so that her body is sprawled out over Celestia's lap, her legs and upper chest dangling over both respective ends of the throne. She shifted and fidgeted to get more comfortable for a few minutes before finally resting her elbows and knees on the plush armrest of the throne. Jeez, this is getting wild. Get your holy water. Get your 2 shots of vodka. Does anybody remember that meme? Does anybody remember that vine? And then next thing, you're gonna be walking to Chili's, and the next minute is, hi, welcome to Chili's. Does anybody remember that vine? Hi, welcome to Chili's. Like, that was hilarious. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm not laughing from that. I don't know. Celestia stared at Luna's behind, hidden under the fabric of her dress. With her right hand within easy reach, she grabbed a handful of Luna's overly long dress and began to pull it upwards. Slowly dragging it more and more, she finally reached the bottom of the dress. She grabbed the base of Luna's tail and pulled it free from the tail hole of the dress. She crumpled up the dress on Luna's back and used her left arm to hold it down. With her right hand free, she lightly raised her fingers in circles across Luna's bare bottom. No underwear? How blowed? Luna's silky butt first stood on end. The gentle caress that she felt across her backside sent small tingles of pleasure throughout her back. She giggled and gave her rump a quick wiggle. Oh dear, did I forget to put on some again? Jeez. Celestia patted Luna's squishy butt as she smiled. A combination of exuberant excitement with perverted intent was etched across her face. Enough! Celestia raised her right hand, preparing to strike. How hard? You already know how hard, sister. But I want to hear it. Luna cleared her throat. Please, spank me as hard as you can. Her tone almost sounded ablaze. Gosh. Yo. Wow. Give it up for that. Celestia clicked her tongue in disappointment. You could do better than that. Maybe you need some encouragement. Whatever do you ape? Luna's voice itched in her throat, replaced with a small gasp. Celestia had grabbed a hold of Luna's tail and yanked it outwards, enticing and enlightening another cute moan from her younger sibling. Celestia cleared her throat and said, Now try again. Luna swallowed the lump in her throat before speaking. Please, mistress, spank my blue eyes. Red, please make this perverted mare scream. Oh, shoot. Celestia purred in approval. She raised her hand, lining up with Luna's soft butt, and brought it down fast. Smack! Ah! Luna's body lurched forward as she screamed. Her roll rum jiggled and ached as another red handprint slowly formed. The scream quickly descended into heavy pants and small moans. Smack! Luna gritted her teeth. A long and loud grunt rumbled from her throat. She gripped the armrest as if her life depended on it. Good God! This is some extremely low-grade BDSM jizz going on here. This is like 50 Shades of Grey. God, we about to... I'd rather not go into that. I actually never read 50 Shades of Grey, but I saw a Cinema Sins video, and I'm pretty sure no way in hell am I watching it. I ain't watching it at all. Yeah, really, I'm not. Smack! Her arousal spiked further and further each time her sister assaulted her behind. Her heart thundered in her chest to the point that she could hear her own heartbeat. She opened her mouth to speak, but only small squeaks came out as she tried to form words. Celestia's attacks came to a stop. Enjoying yourself? She rhetorically asked. She returned to groping Luna's ass, roughly grabbing and squeezing the large handfuls. Luna continued to heavily pant. Smack, 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 smack. The sudden barrage caused Luna to howl in pain, her back arching into a curve. Her posture remained stuck as her pain-filled scream slowly dissolved into a less riddle groan. Smack! Jesus. With a final smack, Celestia smirked. She lightly chuckled from watching Luna become a whimpering mess. The real fun had yet to begin. Celestia bit her lip, trying to keep up her dom mindset. I think that is enough. You will need your energy. Uh-oh. She's asking for another session soon. Somebody, get the cops. Get the cops over here. Really. I'm asking for it. Somebody! Ah! Okay, that made no sense. Then again, I'm nonsensical. I'm pretty sure you guys probably figured that out by now. Luna sighed in relief while her head lazily dropped downwards. She was still reeling from the arse assault, taking deep breaths to calm her pounding heart, hoping it would somehow alleviate the stinging pain her backside is still recovering from. Celestia gently rubbed a small amount of Luna's back, patiently waiting to begin the next portion. And then, later, Celestia licked her lips. Her sister stood right in front of her, having regained her strength to continue their fun. Celestia watches Luna fidgeting in place, not from nerves, but from excitement. Oh boy. Now, let's remove your garments. Celestia's horn glowed in golden radiant light, enveloping Luna's dress in the same light. Luna's fur stood on end, and the tingling sensation of magic faintly dancing across her skin. In mere seconds, her dress rapidly became translucent, and eventually faded from existence, exposing her Annie pony to see. Okay. Celestia took notice that Luna was not wearing a bra either. Like I'm supposed to care, thank you for letting me know. Celestia released a shaky breath, the hunger in her eyes becoming ever apparent. Her eyes roamed all over Luna's figure. The slender arms and the legs and the toned stomach and the hips that don't lie. The hips don't lie! No! Why am I thinking that Shakira song? No! Oh, God. Why am I thinking of that song? Yo! Oh my God! Somebody's gonna start playing that song now, I bet. So, I bet half of you that are watching this are probably gonna be, you're probably going to be you're gonna be playing that song! I know it's an old song, but still, man, wow. And her large yet modest breast that heaved from Luna's deep breathing. Luna was the most beautiful pony Celestia had ever had the honor of laying her eyes on. AKA, this is about to be incest. I'm not sure which is worse. This or Luke and Leia somehow kissing, and yet they've forgotten, and yes, they didn't know that they were related, that they were siblings, they were twins. And she's all mine, she thought to herself. Her mare was soaked with excitement. And her eyes trailed downward right towards her favorite part. A large and incredibly stiff light blue dick. Oh. Stood at attention, throbbing with each rapid heartbeat. Accompanying it was a large set of balls, swollen to the brim with semen. A trickle of pre-cum was visible as it formed a tiny puddle on the floor. You better clean that jizz up, that's nasty. And seriously, y'all better clean that crap up. Celestia let out a shuddering sigh before speaking. Now then, let's begin, shall we? Luna fidgeted in place, causing her dick to wave and bounce. Yes, mistress. On your knees? Celestia commanded. Right as she spoke, she raised her right foot and quickly jerked it outwards, forcing her golden open toe heel to pop off from the force. She repeated the same motion with her left foot. Placing both feet back on the plush red carpet in front of her throne, she stretched her toes while rolling her ankles. That's better? Celestia moaned down in relief. Luna had already dropped to her knees, her cock slightly bobbing in the air. Luna stared at her sister's perfectly manicured feet, her eyes solely fixated on the appendages. The sight of Celestia's soft soles made Luna's dick throb even harder than before, profusely dripping with pre-cum. Her hands are violently twitching. Every fiber in her being is telling her to not touch what she's told to. Celestia opened her mouth, ready to speak the magic words. Worship my feet. Wasting no time, Luna grabbed a hold of Celestia's left foot and began to massage it. She moaned in bliss as her fingers danced over every curve and every inch of Celestia's soft foot. Her sister's moans was music to Luna's ears. Licking at her lips, she held Celestia's foot in her face and planted her tongue on the underside of Celestia's foot, slowly running her tongue up and down the arch. Oh boy, this is getting crazy. Holy crap. Luna moaned as the salty and intoxicating flavors assaulted her taste buds. She loved how her sister's feet tasted. Y'all are wild with this. I don't understand y'all half the time. Celestia smiled as she watched her sister happily lick her feet. The erotic display caused Celestia's face to flush. She reached inside the cleavage of her dress with both hands, grabbing each large white breast. She slowly pulled them free of her dress, hissing through her teeth as her nipples hardened in the cool air. She began to grope her own breast, squeezing and rolling the large orbs around in her hands. Okay. At least she didn't say orbs for eyes. Because, oh boy, that would have sent y'all to the cops. When Celestia was molesting herself, Luna wrapped her lips around a few toes. She lightly began sucking on them, her tongue twirling around each toe. With one hand supporting the foot in her mouth, her other hand shot out to grab Celestia's right foot. Pulling the toes out of her mouth with a soft pop, she turned her attention to the other one. She deeply smooched the heel, moaning contently to herself, pulling her lips away with a quiet smacking sound. She slowly trailed upwards with more kisses until she reached the toes. She momentarily pulled her face away and placed her sister's feet together at eye level. She quickly dove back in, pressing her face on the other side of both feet. She deeply inhaled through her nose, taking in as much of her sister's scent as possible. She slowly exhaled, shuddering her arse and the while. Her brain felt scrambled the smell, always overwhelming her. Good God. Good God, y'all. Good God, y'all. She kept her firm grip, afraid of losing them. It was as if her losing her sister's feet was like losing herself. She breathed heavily, taking in an intoxicating cocktail of vanilla and minor sweat. Y'all are wild with this. Seriously. Go get holy water, you idiots. Go get some holy water. Get that, you idiots. I don't get y'all. Celestia pinched her nipples, moaning loud enough for Luna to hear. Now, Celestia said, breaking Luna out of her trance. What do you say? Luna paused her worship and looked up at Celestia. I love them so much, mistress. She kissed each foot. I want to lick them all day, in front of every pony, and show them that I am the only worthy enough to be a foot cleaner. What the hell? What in the actual hell? What the hell? Luna gave each foot a long, passionate kiss. Thank you for letting me worship your perfect feet. And excuse for that awkward accent. You're probably wondering what the hell is that. I don't know. I'm just a random accent that just came out of my mouth. You guys can guess for yourself. But jeez. Celestia stopped playing with her breasts. What a good slut. She then pulled her feet away. You deserve a reward. Lay on your back. You deserve. Excuse me. That was not the voice. You deserve a reward. Lay on your back. Luna happily obliged to lay down, scooting closer and getting comfortable on her back with her filly stretcher pointed straight up in the air, pre-cum dribbling down the shaft. Celestia placed her left foot on the underside of Luna's dick, pushing it into her belly, and slowly ran her foot up and down. The mixture of saliva and pre-cum allowed Celestia to heavily slide her foot over Luna's shaft. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Luna's heart skipped a few beats. Celestia's beautiful foot felt like heaven, the softness sending Luna's nerves into overdrive. She was mesmerized by the sight, her mouth agape, but only one word came from her mouth. Mistress! Celestia pulled her foot down, gently putting pressure on Luna's cock on her dick. Did I give you permission to speak? I'm sorry, mistress! Luna desperately yelled. Celestia could not help but smile at her sister's total submission. She pulled her foot away, allowing Luna's shaft to point upright. Celestia then wrapped both of her feet around her sister's shaft. Raising and lowering her legs, she started jerking Luna's dick. And that's where it's gonna get wild. Luna let out a loud, drawn-out moan. She threw her head back. More and louder moans erupted from her. She is in a world of bliss. The feeling from her mistress's soft feet wrapped around her mare's meat, rapidly stroking her, was too much for the princess. Celestia stared at her submissive sister, watching her body take involuntary movements as her eyes threatened to roll back into her head. Oh, is that Undertaker chiz? Okay. Luna's hips bucked as their own as she felt a familiar pressure build in her groin. She squealed, Sis, mistress, I am close. I want to hear you beg. Mistress, but please. Celestia started to slow down. What have I always told you? Celestia asked with a glint of gleeful malice in her voice. Jesus Christ. Luna swallowed dryly, her mouth almost refusing to work. That I'm the only allowed to come here if I beg you. Celestia stopped stroking, keeping her feet still at the base of Luna's shaft. Never mind. I guess you do not want to come. Fear washed over Luna. Not being come from Celestia's feet almost made her catatonic. Mistress, I need to come, please. Celestia sighed as she deadpanned. Do you? Luna stared at Celestia with panic and sweat over her face. Mistress, please, I want to come. I don't think I believe you. Luna whined again. I want to come! Please! Please let me come with your feet, mistress! Celestia evilly smiled. I think you could do better than that. Luna screwed her eyes shut, too. embarrassed to look at Celestia during what she's about to say. Mistress, please, let me come. I want to cut your perfect feet, but come. Please, allow this undress wedding that pose. She almost shrieked at the end. Celestia evilly giggled. That's what I thought. She resumed, stroking faster than before. You may come. Now, my little slut. Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no! Oh, hell. Luna's only needed a few seconds, more than seconds of pleasure, before she cried out. Her mind went blank from the intensity of her orgasm. Large, thick ropes of cum shot out from her cock like cannon fire. The warm spunk shot out upwards and rained back down on herself. Warm splatters hit all over her body. She opened her mouth, catching some of the delicious spunk on her tongue. She greedily swallowed the salty liquid. She then sighed happily as she came down from her high, exhausted body, going limp. Ahem! Jeez. Luna quickly jerked her head up and stared at her sister. She noticed some of her cum landed on Celestia. Luna became excited for what might happen next. What an impressive load, sister! But you had made an impressive mess. Lick my tits clean, and maybe I won't punish you. Luna's tired body slowly rose. She found her foot and staggered towards her. Luna climbed on top of her sister, resting her lap while pressing both of their stomachs, still coated with her own cum. She ended up smearing all over her sister. She effectively made it even a bigger mess than before, but it didn't matter. It was all a part of the game. Welcome to the game! Jeez. Or no, that's not it. That's not what it is. Time to play the game! She pressed her lips against Celestia's left nipple, lightly kissing it before rolling her tongue a few times around the pink nub. She then started to run her tongue over the large mammary, scooping up large globs. Luna stared into her sister's eyes as she swallowed every mouthful of cum, slightly moaning. She loved the taste of her cum mixture with her sister's sweat. It's disgusting! It was heaven! Ew! Y'all are nasty! Her cock showed no signs of stopping as it stayed erect. A large stream of post-orgasm cum continued to ooze out, pooling in between Celestia's thighs. Oh, shoot. It's about to be a mess, and you about to get called housekeeping for this. No, really. Luna kept running her tongue all over the breast, ensuring that it was completely cum-free. Satisfied with her work, Luna moved on to the other tit, repeating the motion from earlier. After her breasts were clean, Luna kept licking, alternating between each boob. She reached her hands up and grabbed a hold of each tit, smushing them together as she focused her attention on the pink nubs. Oh, Luna. Celestia placed a hand on top of Luna's head and struck her other hand in between her legs, furiously fingering herself while rubbing her thumb over her clit. With her boobs pressed so close together, Luna was able to pop both of her nipples in her mouth, rapidly lapping up both nubs. What the hell? What the hell am I even saying anymore? Having been incredibly aroused by the entire session, it didn't take much to push Celestia over the edge. Celestia gave a more reserved orgasmic cry compared to her sister as feminine juices shot out from Celestia's marehood. The liquid mixing in with Luna's sperm. Luna lewdly moaned from feeling another warm liquid hit her on her legs. The hell? Luna pulled her hand out from her sister's princess pussy and held it in front of her Luna. No need to be told. Luna greedily licked her hand, licking it between over the digits to clean out the feminine juices. After Luna was finished, she got back down on her floor and plopped down into her knees. She merely looked up at Celestia, her tail cutely swishing back and forth. Jeez! Y'all are just wild at this moment. Celestia hummed to herself, her gaze on Luna's stallion hood. Keeping her legs open, she pressed her fingers against the outer folds of her pussy, spreading them apart to show Luna's her tight, pink tunnel. You have been very obedient tonight. I think you deserved a privilege to rob me. No needing to be told twice. Luna shot up like a rocket, her breast jiggling around for Celestia's entertainment. She quickly pressed herself against Celestia, squishing her breasts together. Luna looked around and wrapped her hand around the base of her cock, angling at it with the entrance of her sister's pink tunnel. Y'all are weird with these euphemisms. Slightly pushing her hips forward, the tip of her cock pressed smudgingly against Celestia's pussy. They both shared a small moan as both of them have eagerly waited for this part. Celestia wrapped her arms around Luna's back as Luna placed her hands on Celestia's thighs. The sisters stared deep into each other's eyes. Their undying love burned with the intensity of the sun. Luna leaned in and gave Celestia a quick peck on the lips. I love you, Tia. Celestia responded by sticking her tongue out and licking Luna's snout, causing the younger sibling to scrunch her face and glare at her older sister. Are you going to stare, or are you going to fill me up? Celestia asked with a twinkle in her eye. Deciding to let her sister's stupidity slide, Luna returned her attention to the matter at hand. She slowly pushed her hips forward, her cock gradually filling Celestia's pussy. Oh! Luna's drawn-out moan put a smile on Celestia's face as she had a perfect reaction. Perfect! Celestia called out. The sisters' hearts fluttered in their chest. The feeling of Celestia's warm like slave pussy and Luna's thick, rigid cock had both of their nerves firing on all cylinders. Oh my gosh, y'all are just wild like I said. Luna had finally bottomed out in her Celestia's depths. She kept herself hilted from inside for just a little while. Taking advantage of the pause, Celestia placed both hands on the sides of Luna's face and pulled her close and forcibly pressed Luna's lips against her own. What the? Luna mimics Celestia's moan after realizing what had transpired. The pair passionately kissed each other and again and again. They only separated to get air before diving back in. Luna slowly pulled out of Celestia's pussy, leaving just the tip in. Her cocked out slick with her sister's juices, she thrusted her hip forward, slamming into Celestia's. Was the only sound that Celestia could make from her body being harshly rocked, from her bare hood being roughly shuffled full. Okay. She felt Luna's throbbing dick before Dick leave her pussy again, only to feel it slam back into her, rocking her body again. Luna gripped her sister for support, arching her back as she prepared herself. She pulled back and thrusted right back in. Without missing a beat, she did it again. Her hips almost rocking as on their own. Luna began to vigorously fuck her sister. To screw her sister. The sound of lips smacking and groin slapping echoed throughout the throne room, serving to only make this incestuous display on all the more depraved, excuse me. Jeez. Celestia let out an odd mixture of giggle and a moan each time her body was thrown into the back of her throne. Her soaking wet marehood made it easier for Luna to plunge into her faster and harder. Luna pulled her head away, breaking the kiss to focus all of her attention on filling her sister. She pushed her torso off Celestia and grabbed her legs instead of picking them up and placing them on her shoulders. Celestia's feet hovering in front of her face was just an added bonus. She wrapped her arms around the legs, giving her the freedom to thrust as fast as hard as she can. The increased grip on Celestia's pussy was bringing her dangerously close to an orgasm. There! I'm so close! Not yet, sister. Just wait a little more. Celestia pressed her index finger against her clitoris, rapidly rubbing the small knob. She felt herself getting close, not just as close as Luna. Almost there. Please hurry, Luna desperately cried out. Celestia closed her eyes, focusing entirely on her clitoris and the feeling of the massive cock stretching her. She heavily panted, her climax almost due to the point of no return. Celestia looked up at Luna. Do it, Luna! Got him inside me now! Luna switched to a long, deep thrust. She buried her face deep into Celestia's feet, inhaling deeply. The scent of her feet pushed Luna over the edge. She buried her dick as deep as hard as she can. Oh, fudge! Luna was unable to finish as a rushing rapid of cum erupted from her cock, quickly filling Celestia's womb. Now I'm suddenly hearing, I wish you died in a womb in my head. Yes, dear sister, give me all of it! Celestia encouraged her sister as she had her orgasm. Mare cum gushed out of like a waterfall, already mixed in with Luna's semen. Most of Luna's warm cum continued to freely flow, overfilling Celestia's pussy. The excessive liquid ran down the throne and onto the floor. Ew, you're gonna clean that stuff now. Yeah, let's not leave it to housekeeping. You'll be the ones to do it. You'll be the ones to take care of the cleaning. Without warning, Luna let go of Celestia's legs and backed up. Her cock became free of the warm tunnel. Luna grabbed her dick and gave it a few strokes as she aimed it right for Celestia. Luna sent ropes of cum right through from Celestia's body. She drenched Celestia with her spunk, aiming to her face, breast, stomach, and legs. Celestia closed her eyes when she felt the first rope of cum hit her in the face. She held perfectly still feeling the warm cum coat over her body. Satisfied with her work, Luna dropped back to her knees, still jerking her dick. She tilted it downwards. Luna happily smiled as she watched the last few spurts of sperm coat Celestia's feet. Celestia wiped her eyes and opened them. She looked around to see her sister admire her feet, covered and resting in a pool of semen. She silently awed in her head. Oh, God. In one last act of submission, Luna got out onto all fours. She arched her head down and planted a kiss on top of each foot. She then looked up to Celestia and said, "Thank you for letting me come here." Celestia sighed and let out an exhausted sigh. "I love you, Luna." Luna stood up to stretch her back. "I love you too, Tia." The two sisters looked around eyeing the cum that covered both of them and the throne, including the pools that are on the floor. Luna groaned. "This is going to take hours to clean." Celestia, I freaking knew it! Celestia dragged her finger across her chest, collecting both some of Luna's cum on it. "True, but it's a good thing we had decided to skip breakfast." She licked the cum off her finger and savoring the flavor as she let it rest on her tongue before swallowing it shortly after. Gross. Y'all are weird. Luna sat down in front of Celestia, her face only a few inches away from Celestia's cum-filled marehood. "We should get started then." And that's it. Oh, God. Wow. Oh. So, wow. Y'all are just wild on this one. But yeah, that's basically all of that. Man, that was quite something else. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.